Yo guys, how's it going? Sluggy Beats here. Before we get into the podcast and bring our guest on, I just wanted to introduce the podcast a little bit, tell you a little bit like what's going to be going on here. But basically, I'm going to be bringing guests on every episode. Most of the time, it's going to be based around music, but every now and again, I might have a little off the subject episode where we talk about something different that either I'm interested in or what's going on in the world. Anything like that that's going to bring you value, sort of thing. So this is the first episode with Charley Beck. I'm still getting hang of the podcast thing. This is the first episode, so there is a little bit of camera difficulties if you're watching on YouTube, or the audio goes a little bit funny sometimes, but nothing major. It's still watchable and listenable. It's going to be available everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, all the jazz. YouTube, there'd be a video version on YouTube. It's nothing crazy, just webcams, but if you're more if you like to see the visuals, do plan to have a better setup soon in the near future. But for now, this is what we've got, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, so then it boosts up on the ratings and stuff, and rate it 5 stars. I don't even know what the rating systems are on podcasts, but do them, help me out, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Yo everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Sluggy Beats podcast. I'm joined by my lovely guest Charley Beck. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you too. Pleasure having you. I
Yes.
thought Charley would be a great first guest on this one because we've been friends for I don't know how long now, 4 or 5 years, maybe longer.
6 this year.
Yeah, maybe 6.
Maybe 6.
But yeah, like a lot of our musical journey has very much like the main part for me has been together, and I think we've grown a lot together. So I think we'll have some
Yeah.
great things to talk about. And I thought a good place to start, for my viewers that don't know you that well, and obviously for your viewers too that maybe don't know as much about you that they'd like, is just to, tell us about where it all started and what got you into music in the first place.
I feel like you've heard this story a lot of
Yeah.
times for
I
some
mean,
reason. So I feel
I
like I'm just telling you it all again.
yeah, well, let's just
But
imagine, there's other people sat
people
here
here.
that don't know.
Basically, how I got into music. Um, I it started off with my mum. She used to play a lot of Elvis Presley. She was obsessed. Well, she still is obsessed with Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Um, that kind of way it started. She bought like loads of live DVDs of him and stuff like that, and she used to play him on video or on the whatever it was, VHS back then, wasn't it? So when I
Yeah.
was younger, so
Back
I
in the day.
used to back in the day. So I used to sit and watch them, and I got really into Elvis, and he was like my only real like influence throughout
Yeah.
like first early years in music.
Yeah.
It'd just be Elvis, and I ended up being obsessed with him really young. And then I don't think I was really that much of a musical kid, apart from obviously my love for Elvis, and I used to dress up as him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like my parents then ended up getting me guitar lessons, which I wasn't really interested in at first. I was
Right.
more like I was more into like I don't know, like just messing about. Like as a
Yeah.
kid, I just loved playtime at school, so nothing else really interested me than going out and playing.
Yeah.
Um, so it were so guitar. I was no good at guitar when I first started. My guitar teacher gave me horrible, not horrible, but like it bad end of year, end of term
Review sort of thing.
reviews. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I got like 3 of them in a row after 3 terms, and my dad were like, right, we can't keep wasting money, so you need to get your head down, or we're going to take you out of guitar lessons. And
Yeah.
then it was kind of around that time I was kind of like, I feel like I was old enough to start taking it on board, so I started obviously listening in these lessons, and then eventually I progressed, and yeah, I became decent. Am I coming through all right?
Yeah.
Just
Your
said
video's
something about the
frozen, but
connection.
the audio's slowed down, but
Yo,
that's fine. Can you hear me? We're all right now, I think.
yeah, it just froze. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hello.
So yeah, hello.
So where did you get to, Myth?
I heard it all, I
Well,
think.
all
Just
right.
saying that your
So
dad said you need to get your head down and
yeah, so I got to like I feel like I got to quite a decent stage, and then what happened then? And then then I started to enjoy it. I started to enjoy it, and then I got into bands like Green Day because I had a few friends within primary school that also played guitar, and I'd
yeah.
end up going around to their house, and we'd listen to Green Day and trying to think of other bands, but I've got to say it was just Green Day. That's all I
Yeah,
listened to
that was very
throughout
much
like my late.
yeah,
Yeah,
same as me. I think Green Day was just a band to like at our age for some reason.
yeah. So it were like, yeah, for a lot of kids getting started, like Green Day were one for me. And it was to a point where I was repeating the Elvis cycle and all I were playing with Green Day.
Yeah,
I made a little band and it were all Green Day. And then we ended up like this kid that I were in a band with, we ended up having a little fallout about something. And then I kind of like started just doing my own thing, playing acoustic guitar and making like YouTube videos, YouTube covers. And
yeah,
then I suppose my influence kind of switched then, and I kind of got into like Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran and stuff like that.
yeah.
I kind of looked at people who got successful like Justin Bieber on YouTube, and I thought, oh,
Mm.
I want to do that. So I started making covers, and it were like, yeah, them kind of people. Who were in a few others. Um, I can't think off the top of my head now, like George Ezra, I guess, like
Yeah.
Adele, just
So
like them
the singer
kind of singer,
songwriter kind of
yeah,
yeah,
singer songwriter sort of stuff. And then yeah, I guess that were kind of it throughout high school. It was just that, and then obviously fast forward to college. Uh,
yeah,
Hated GCSE music, by the way. To say I
really.
was a music student, yeah,
Yeah.
music. Did you?
No, I quite enjoyed mine, but like obviously, um, I did it with Kyle, who's a long time friend of mine, who you
Oh
also
yeah,
know. So I mean, um, having a lesson where you just get to jam with your best mate is
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
set for there. But I know you was kind
I
of the
didn't.
only one into your sort of
Yeah,
um music, weren't you, in your class? You've told me in the past.
yeah. There was like I didn't really have any friends in that music class. Like when everyone got to jam, like you'd go off with your friends. I didn't really
Yeah,
have any, so I kind of felt like a bit of an outcast in that class. And
yeah,
everyone were like really theory orientated and like they love the jazz and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I thought music students were like. So
yeah.
coming to college, I thought everyone in college were going to be like all like saxophone players and stuff like that.
More the
And I
classical stuff.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I didn't really college did wasn't really like something I really was excited to do like a lot of
yeah,
other people. Then obviously I got to college, met like you and Danny and well everybody else there, and it's like it just wasn't what it was like in GCSE music. It was like a massive switch, which were really weird at first, but like it was for the better. And then yeah, college started the band, the Hyde,
yeah. That's
which
mine and
were
Charlie's band for those who don't know.
yeah, they were a massive turning point that for me, I think, because it were like I was
Yeah,
doing the acoustic stuff for years, and I wasn't like I could kind of feel myself losing interest in it as I was coming into college. So the Hyde kind of like were a perfect turn, and then the Hyde, everything I've learned since starting that band, I've learned. If you know, like everything I've learned has been through the band, I guess.
yeah. That's very much the same for me. I mean, we had a lot of like great experiences really, and met a lot of great people, and found ourselves in a lot of great situations. Really, I don't think if it weren't for the band, I couldn't see myself even getting into production really in the way I have, because I mean, I don't know how else I would have ended up in a recording studio sort of thing and
Yeah,
experiencing that for myself.
exactly. I just think sometimes what I'd have done after college, I can't really see myself producing stuff. I can't really. I don't know what I'd have been doing. I'd have probably still been axing away at the YouTube stuff and just
Yeah,
like maybe in a regular job, which I still am in a regular job, but like just like sitting on that. I don't know
yeah.
what I'd have done honestly.
It's
Maybe
yeah, funny thing to
maybe
think
gone into
about really.
teaching. I don't know. Yeah.
So obviously you mentioned you were doing the YouTube covers and stuff. When did you actually start doing YouTube? I know you spoke to me about you did YouTube, some games and stuff before. I don't know which one you did first.
Yeah. I my dad filmed a video of me doing a country song
Right.
years ago.
Yeah.
That was like 2010, just as I was
All right.
leaving
Yeah.
primary school.
That's a long
So
time ago.
that was when I first like started singing, because he was like, "Why don't you try and singing with a guitar?" So he was like, "Try and learn this song for me," and he gave me like 2 weeks to learn this song, and then every 2 weeks after that, he'd give me a new song to learn, and if I
Yeah.
nailed it, he'd film me and put it on YouTube, because YouTube was like really small back then, and to have a video on YouTube was kind of like a big deal to like a 10-year
Yeah.
old.
Honestly, I
So
don't even know if I really knew what like I definitely knew what YouTube was, but I remember my cousin showed me it and I thought it was just basically sort of like a you've been framed thing. Like you just
yeah,
put like funny videos up there and stuff. And I feel like
yeah,
that's
that's
definitely
what it was. Yeah,
yeah, mostly what it was. But yes, for you to have like a video of you singing, like that would have been like, whoa, if I'd have known that, you know.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like all kids at school were like, "Oh, he's got a video on YouTube." It was like
Yeah,
it's like I suppose getting your music on iTunes now.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
whoa, you've got music on iTunes. It's
A shock
so
factor.
yeah. So then, and not many people had. I suppose, yeah, not many no kids really had laptops back then either. Like when I was
No, very
10,
true.
so to YouTube, I couldn't really access YouTube unless it was from my parents' laptop. But then
Yeah.
obviously, when more kids started to get, it's
Laptops.
just lagged a bit, and it.
Oh, I did it.
Give it a sec. Give it a sec. Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, you still there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel laptops then became a bit more like everybody started to get them, didn't they?
Mm.
And then yeah, and that's when the gaming stuff came in. Made my own
Yeah.
channel. YouTube kind of became more popular and easier to upload stuff onto. So then I made Minecraft videos and Call of Duty videos and stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
trying to really wanted to be a gamer.
Yeah. So it's fair to say YouTube's always sort of been a thing that you've done and wanted to do
Yeah,
for a
definitely.
long time. Um, why do you think that is? Do you think it's just because you like creating the content and stuff, or is it more like the social aspects of it, maybe? Or what is it that you think's drawn you to YouTube?
I think it's just the creative
Yeah,
process, and then just like yeah, maybe like the idea of being like a big name
yeah,
through a platform like YouTube and doing something you enjoy, making money, making it into a job. I think that's always kind of really interests me, how people can sit and play a video game, put it on YouTube, and then earn £1,000 from doing it. I just always
yeah.
thought that were insane. So I always suppose I always did it with the intent on becoming like a huge YouTuber, and I liked
Mm,
that kind of thought. But like, yeah, definitely the creative stuff as well,
yeah.
which is why I'm still doing it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always good to, want to make a career out of something that you love. And obviously, I'm very much trying to do the same thing, as there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people now. And yeah, it's definitely better than a job, that's for sure, a normal job.
Definitely.
Um, so, talking about the creative video side, you've been doing a bit of TikTok recently, haven't you, over this past
Yeah,
year?
just a
When
bit
did
of
you start
TikTok.
that?
First lockdown. First
First
lockdown.
lockdown, so almost coming up to a year then. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
March. Yeah,
Yeah. Think you've got over 70K followers, is that right?
70. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Something that's quite interesting about your TikTok really is that it's not really based around music, is it? It's more like a sort of comedy
yeah,
sketches. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, well, what did you find the like growth like on TikTok versus something like YouTube, and like when did you obviously start hitting followers? Because I mean 70K is like a fair amount of followers to
Yeah,
well a
definitely.
very fair in the space of a year. If you did that
Hmm.
on something like YouTube, it would be pretty mind blowing, really, because you're lucky to
Yeah,
get 1,000 in your first year, really, on YouTube.
yeah, definitely. Um, When did it? What did you say? When did I see the growth?
When did you start to sort of like see the growth? Like,
Oh, right. I feel like TikTok was like really easy, like a lot easier than YouTube, because obviously I've been doing YouTube like, dare I say now, 10 years. So
yeah,
um and like the growth on that has been hard. But then again, with YouTube, I've never like, I don't feel like I've stuck at anything solidly
yeah,
and been consistent enough to really see like it's some sort of takeoff. But TikTok, it was like it were a new platform, and I feel like there were a lot of stigma around it at first. It was like known as like a cringy kids app sort of thing.
mm,
And I got bored in the first lockdown, like a lot of people.
yeah,
And so I just thought, yeah, this is another platform I can be creative on. It takes like nothing to make a video. It's like
yeah,
60-second videos you can put on there. So I thought, oh, I'll just give it a go. And then like I found that videos blowing up were a lot like the they were a lot easier to blow up, I guess you can say,
yeah,
than a YouTube video.
mm,
Like I might have been doing it a few months before I had like a video that kind of took off. It was like a skit or something that got like 100,000 views.
yeah,
Um, and like, yeah, at first it was like the same sort of, I'm only getting like 50 views, 10 views. And this were like for a few months. And then you see your first video take off. It doesn't even have to be a good video for it to take off. It's like, I've
yeah.
seen loads of videos that have gone massive. I don't know about you. And they're not even that good. They're
Particularly
just
good, yeah,
yeah, they've just got something about them. So
mm,
like your first one takes off, then you're getting like 200, 300 followers from that. And then it chills out for a bit. And maybe you're averaging like 200, 300 views. And then you get another one that blows up. And it's like one blows up every few weeks, few months. And that's how it started for me anyway. And then they just started coming in and coming in. And then you'd see more and more blowing up. And then it was kind of started rolling from there. But there were definitely times at the beginning where I thought, yeah, I'm not going to bother. It's because I feel like it's easy to kind of give up,
yeah. Hard to keep
especially with
the
that
what's the word? Consistency and
momentum.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
momentum. Um, so do you think those TikTok followers are sort of? Do you think that's benefited your music, or do you think with it being sort of in the comedy niche rather than music niche?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Where as I started making more videos, I was making like 6 videos a day at first, but they weren't like the comedy stuff. I was just like talking videos, and I did a few music ones, but I always noticed the music ones were doing a lot worse than
mm,
the relatable stuff. And then
yeah,
obviously I found the comedy niche where I were doing these skits, and I thought, oh, these are actually getting views. They were getting like 10K, 20K views a video, which
yeah,
were really, really good. And I thought, oh, I'll just stick at this because that's what's getting the views. And yeah, I do enjoy them, but obviously I've got to say I do enjoy doing music a lot more. So then it was like, how do I convert these people that are watching my videos for the laugh and for
yeah,
the relatable to followers of music? So there were a few singles, songs I released. I put some stuff about the hide, um, and the views definitely dropped.
yeah,
Um, but there were people coming over, just not like the same amount of people that are viewing the comedy videos.
yeah,
So that's what makes it really hard, I guess.
yeah. Got you.
So yeah, the conversion is like a lot less than maybe I'm a comedian or I do skits on a YouTube channel. Maybe that'd be a different story. Maybe they'd all
Mm,
come over, or
yeah, yeah,
80% would come over. But I suppose music and people wanting to hear new music isn't like a huge thing, if you know what I mean. Not
yeah,
everybody enjoys going to listen to new music. So I feel
yeah.
like
Very true.
that's why the conversion's been hard.
Yeah. Now you sort of know that, and if you had to go back, say like a year from now and start TikTok again, do you think you would have still done the comedy stuff, or do you think you would have just gone all out with the music videos type of thing?
Um, I don't know because I do enjoy doing both, but
Yeah,
maybe I would have gone for the music, yeah,
yeah,
because I've seen because because I've seen it work for people if you do it the right way.
Yeah.
Like I follow a few guys that do some really creative stuff, but a lot of effort goes into these videos, and you can
Yeah.
tell they've stuck it out to get the followers and the growth. So, and I can tell they've stuck it out a lot longer than somebody doing the generic relatable content.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really hard for me. But yeah, I think maybe I would go for the music stuff, because at the end of the day, that's what I want to kind of pursue in my life.
Yeah.
And
See a brand and stuff.
yeah, exactly. And if I can kind of, the conversion would be better. And if you can get followers going to listen to it, then
Yeah.
I suppose that it would be more beneficial for what I really want to do. Because
Yeah.
the comedy stuff's kind of just for fun. I don't really see myself being a comedian. And that's all I can really get from that, unless I wanted to be an actor. Acting interests me, but
Yeah.
I just think music has always been at the top of it. Yeah.
Makes sense. Have you got any tips for people wanting to, grow on TikTok? Like how many times you need to be uploading, how often and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
I think firstly, probably find your niche, which is like a
Yeah.
really a thing that I kind of learned a lot from it. Your niche is like your little category you fit into, whether you make comedy videos, music videos, which were hard at first because I was like, well, I want to do both, but it's kind of hard at first because people
Yeah.
are following you for that one thing. And that's what I learned, which I didn't really believe at first, but I've seen it for myself. So I think a niche, try and find a niche, something. Are you frozen again?
It's all right for me. Carry on. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Find a niche, upload, try and go for like 3 times a day at first. I know it sounds a lot, but I feel like the amount of
Yeah.
times you upload, it's definitely quantity over quantity, or quantity over quality on that app.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I think they're kind of the two main things, to be honest.
Yeah.
And just don't give up too soon, I suppose, because I've definitely been so close to giving it up like so many times because I
Yeah.
haven't been seeing the views. I'm refreshing it, trying to see how many views I'm getting, and when they're low, you do want to give up, but like if you keep going with it, then it's gonna pay off, I guess. And
Yeah.
I'm not making out I'm like huge, but like I think it's done all right for me. So
Yeah, I mean, you've done well in a year. 70K followers is a lot. It's a lot more than what I've achieved anyway on there. But
it's difficult. It is difficult.
it's
It's
a
like
hard app.
a lot of free time as well. Too much free
Yeah.
time. Yeah. If it
Yeah.
weren't for the first lockdown, I probably wouldn't be doing it. If it weren't for COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the thing I found difficult is like you can't just really make 1 or 2 videos and like it be all right. Like, and like for me, the music videos are quite, because like to do like the music stuff, like you say, it's like you have to get really creative with it and put a lot of thought into it and time. And like for starters, you got to make the song or whatever you're showing on TikTok. So it's, and to do that 3 times a day is a lot, but it's definitely worth it if you can do it, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a shame that like music and musicians don't get the recognition that other people get, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I guess
Because
yeah.
the amount of hours you can put into a song just for 60 seconds compared to somebody that will just pick a phone up and talk about a relatable topic. It's quite crazy. And then the views don't pay off. And yeah, I just think music's just an overall really hard industry in every single field. Instagram,
Yeah.
live gigging, everything. It's like just so hard to get people's attention with it.
Very true, very true. Let's go back to, talking about the band stuff anyway and a bit about what we did. When did we start the band? 2016, was it?
16, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember January. It was like January started jamming. Then like May we've officialed it.
Yeah, we just started out playing those covers, didn't we? What were the songs we played now? Can you remember? We had like 4 songs, I think we learned, didn't we?
Yeah.
Am I lagging?
You are a set, but you're fine now.
Right.
Oasis, Stand By Me,
Yeah. Classic.
Um,
Is it a Rolling
Two Door
Stones
Cinema
tune?
Club, Two Door Cinema Club.
Yeah.
What You Know, 1975 Chocolate, and Aerosmith for it.
I thought it was Rolling Stones. I can't. That word, one that Danny picked. That
When I'm
one. That's not.
driving in your car. What's that one?
I don't know what it is. Yeah, that's the one.
That one. I can't. You'll
Yeah.
know it if you know the band, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it were Aerosmith.
That's right. We're Rolling
But then
Stones.
Rolling Stones is still something Danny would have chosen, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, that's how we started, isn't it? Playing that,
playing
and
covers.
then started writing songs, didn't we? Well, you wrote our first single.
Your Heart.
Yeah, Your Heart was the first
Yeah.
single. When did you start like writing songs and stuff? Because I mean, and I don't actually know that about you. I'm not sure how long you've been writing songs.
I've probably like written song. I've written songs since starting. I probably only wrote like a handful of songs, maybe like 10 songs in total before joining the Hyde, and
Yeah.
then the Hyde were like probably the first time that I actively wrote songs. So I'd say officially the Hyde, to be honest, 16 years old, because
Yeah.
I did write songs growing up, but they were never like serious, and I never intended on playing them or sharing them. So yeah, I'd say the Hyde, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that's sort of like that song you wrote for the Hyde and like, you know, going to record it and releasing it and everything? Do you think that's like a big reason that you're sort of still doing it today, that you got like a major buzz off it? And
Yeah, definitely. Because it were like the recording studios weren't ever something I'd experienced. I don't know if you had. Maybe you did. Maybe New Vintage. You in a band before?
No, we never did anything like that. We talked about it, but no, it was just gigs for that.
Really? So yeah, recording studio, and then hearing your song being recorded were just like crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like it's something so basic now. Like we can just go up to a studio anytime we want.
Yeah.
Which is mental. But like at we were 16 when I might have been 17 when we recorded that. But yeah, it would just like encourage you to write more songs, because we were like, right, now we've got this song together, we've recorded this, and we put it out, and people buzzed off it.
Yeah.
And then it just made me want to us want to write more and release more, and it just snowballed, didn't it, I guess.
Yeah, it was nice. It was definitely like a changing point for me. Like, it's what made me realize that I do really like creating music, and like just the, you know, buzz that you get when you're in that studio and hear something coming together. It's crazy to think now that we literally do that like every week, even just sat at home making songs. But
yeah, I guess our homes are studios in a way.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy the journey we've come on. But played a lot of gigs, didn't we? Managed to travel up and down.
Yeah.
That's Scotland and London, stuff like that. What's your thoughts on the live gigging and stuff like that?
I loved it at first. I still love it. I still love playing gigs now. Leeds, when we first started playing in Leeds, that were like, wow, because it was like
the best time.
We just started. We kind of it been in our first year, and it was kind of like the time where loads of people just loved gigs, and then obviously it dropped off. People, for some reason, the scene kind of went a bit quiet for. It's kind of been quiet for a few years for some reason. But yeah, that I loved it. I loved Leeds, and then we played a few good gigs. Like we played London. London were really fun, a highlight for me. But yeah, I've always loved gigging. But now I feel like to go back to it, maybe I'd rethink what I'd gig and what I wouldn't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice at that age just to say yes to everything anyway, just for the sort of experience of it, I think.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, exactly. But like, I think there was a lot of as a band, and every band will experience it, there's a lot more gigs where it's like, oh great, there's like 10 people, 20 people
Yeah.
here. There's a lot of them, and they're like, overall, they're just not really worth doing, are they?
No,
The promoter
definitely
doesn't
not.
get.
But
Hold on, movies stop recording automatically. All right, let me just click this again. Yeah, it's going again.
we are all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, live gigs definitely are sort of not worth it unless you've already got a following, I'd say, especially with the world of online now. But we definitely had, a lot of fun doing it, and
Oh
definitely
yeah, like
made my
the
teenage years fun.
yeah, definitely. Like the experience were there, and as a new, I'd still encourage new bands to go and do it.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
like I feel like I'm speaking down, but like I'm not speaking down on anybody. It's just like,
Yeah,
but for the experience of new bands, and they've got a lot of new bands will have a lot of friends, family that'll come, and that's
yeah,
so worth it because I loved it so much. But as you get older, people start going to uni, they have their own priorities, and people, your friends and family, don't really have time to come and see you. And then you've got more priorities, you've got your own money, you've got your own car, petrol, and it's like weighing up the pros and cons of playing a gig is more to be considered, I guess, in it.
yeah, definitely. It's
So that's the reason for me why I probably wouldn't say yes to many gigs anymore, unfortunately.
yeah, it's just how it is with getting older, I guess. Now, so you've done all the band
Yeah.
stuff then. Fast forward a few years through the band, doing the gigs and the recording the songs, and you've sort of not to put a not in a bad way, but sort of ended up back on your own writing songs again, haven't you? Hello?
Yeah, you just frozen a sec. I just
Oh.
got that last bit. Yeah, you're fine now. You might have to repeat that again really quickly.
Yeah, I was just saying, you've sort of
I got
ended
the
up. Am I all right?
yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
say I got the gist that you were going, the band's finished,
yeah,
but like
and
I've gone back to my
you've sort of ended up back in the singer songwriter sort of area, writing your own songs at home and now producing them yourself. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
yeah. I think firstly the just what put your hand up. All right, yeah, that's fine. I think firstly the thought of the band through like the thought of the band ending while I were in it was like really scary thought for me because I was like, what will I ever do if a
Yeah,
band ends? Because it was like I loved it so much, and I loved going to studios and obviously I couldn't produce, and I'm not saying now I can produce. I don't need it because I still loved it and I still loved everything we did. But I think definitely as it kind of finished, we were all in a really good position where we all learned probably as much as we could learn from it.
yeah,
So I felt a lot more comfortable about finishing it because I'd learned the stuff that I'd learned while I were in it to not have to worry about what am I going to do next
yeah,
because now I'm like, oh, I can just produce my own stuff. I'm kind of free to experiment with different sounds, do whatever I want,
yeah,
collab with people. And like we always say, we always still talk about writing stuff and releasing stuff together. So
yeah,
that's kind of what life's like for me.
yeah, definitely.
It kind of feels like I'm still in it, but just don't
Yeah,
do stuff with you.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, we're all still friends out. We're nothing, no bad
yeah,
fallouts or anything. So we're just sort of all growing in, our own ways. And like, I started doing a complete different style of music, you could say, I guess. And you're sort
mm,
of moving to a different style of music. Is that right? With well, by the time
yeah.
this is out, your latest song will be out. What's that called again? Work This Out. Is that right?
Work this out. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
actually know. I forgot about that. Forgot what it was called until you just said it.
Good job. I wrote it down just before we started. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's sort of it. You've been doing the pop stuff before, aren't you? And this one's sort of in a bit of a different style. Is that right?
yeah. It's I've gone for like more of a, I guess like pop rock, pop punk vibe with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pop stuff we'd obviously been doing for a long time, and I just thought now I can kind of change it, do what I want. I might try and take it down that route. It's I kind of feel like it's coming back a little bit as well with like
Yeah,
Machine Gun
definitely.
Kelly's new album. Travis
Yeah,
Barker's collaborating with a lot of people.
yeah,
I feel like the beat stuff and the pop punk stuff are kind of merging
yeah.
and
It's
doing
definitely
really
true.
well
Yeah.
together. Yeah. So I thought, why not give it a go? And I've really enjoyed doing it. And
Mm.
yeah.
Do you think that's something that you're sort of going to consistently stick to for maybe this year, or do you think you're just kind of gonna try different stuff out and keep, switching it up?
Um, I think I'd like. I feel like it's still quite early to say, but I do feel like that's going to be kind of the route I'm wanting
Yeah,
to go down at the moment. But
yeah,
like in terms of like putting different sort of stuff out, I feel like I said before, the beats merging with the pop punk stuff, I feel like that'll be what I'm like evolving for. But I'm still putting out like the full band drum kit and stuff, but like just keeping that sort of vibe really. That's what I want to aim to do.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So I think that for now, just see how it goes. I've got a few recorded and a few
yeah.
that I'm looking at. Yeah,
So we can expect
yeah,
definitely a few singles this year then.
yeah,
Yeah, looking
yep.
forward to it. Um, anyway, just to sort of start closing it off. Since my channel sort of based around production, and you're obviously self-producing your own songs, do you have any sort of like tips and tricks that you might want to share with people, like your favorite plugins or favorite VSTs? Just to someone who might be starting out, like what would you sort of recommend getting into?
I feel like I don't know a lot of stuff to kind of like lay off my knowledge. I still feel like I'm like quite at an early stage in production to kind of not really be able to give too much, but uh, I think something I've always worked by, and recently, especially since we spent like the end of summer up till like November going to the studio together. So I think I learned a lot from that, from you two, really.
Yeah,
And I'm sure you'd agree. If it sounds good, it sounds good. That's kind of
yeah,
something I've worked by.
yeah.
I think that's kind of like one of my only major tips, I guess, because yeah, if it sounds good, it sounds good. I'd also say listen to your mixers, listen to music on more than one device.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a crucial one because I look back on like old mixes now, like through like I've throughout the past few years I've been experimenting with production. I've uploaded YouTube covers and stuff, and listening back now, they're pretty dreadful. And I think that a big factor of that is I haven't like listened to them on more than one
Yeah,
device, one output, I guess. It's always
yeah,
been mostly on these, which are quite bass heavy. But I've just got
mm,
some studio monitors which I listen out of, and then I've got
yeah.
some Apple headphones, and I go to my iPhone and my car when doing like a final mix. So I think listen to your mix on more than one output.
It's definitely a great tip. Yeah,
I think that's kind of a yeah, they're kind of my two that I always work by.
yeah. Just lastly, any favorite plugins or VSTs?
Favorite plugins. I'm sure you'll agree with me on every single one of them. The Arvox compressor.
Yeah,
Is that's what
it's
it's called?
definitely, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's a favorite
Arvox
one of mine.
compressor. That's I'll do. How many shall I do? Five,
If you like, yeah,
three.
do 5.
All
Why
right.
not?
So I've got. All right. So I've got the Arvox compressor. I really like. A free one. I think I've seen it in your video. The OTT is
Oh
it?
yeah, yeah,
That's compressor as well.
yeah. OTT compressor.
Um, I usually just put that on because of the crisp is unreal on it. I think I really
Yeah,
like that. Maybe it'll be something I'll listen back to in a few years and think that's horrible. Why did I put it on? But
yeah.
I really like it at the moment. Um, um, the H delay,
Oh
I
yeah.
always kind of
Waves
work with that.
H2A.
I
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. Wait, yeah, they're all cheap as well.
yeah,
Um, the Greg Wells.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Greg
Is it
Wells
Greg Wells?
vocals.
Yeah, yeah. You've got like delay, reverb on that, and it's kind of that intensity knob kind of feels like an EQ, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of EQ and compression, maybe. I'm not sure, but it
Yeah,
just sounds
that
good
that makes it
anyway.
sound a lot nicer.
It
Yeah,
does.
it's got a doubler on there as well.
Yeah.
So that's my fourth, and then fifth probably the Sound Toys little plate.
Oh yeah, the reverb plugin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great one
that's a little
too.
bit more expensive, but yeah, I use that on like a lot of things as well. That's kind of my
Yeah,
favorite reverb.
I like
So
that
they're
one.
my five. Mm.
Anyway, I think that's it's been a great talk. Brings us to the end. Where can people
Yeah.
find you? You know, on Instagram, YouTube. What's your handles? Give yourself a shout out.
Uh, my Instagram is Charlie L Beck. I've changed that now,
Have you?
as you've probably noticed.
I
Yeah,
actually
it's
noticed now.
Charlie L Beck now.
Right?
Yeah, because my underscore name was Charlie before, wasn't it? And I
Yeah.
remember we used to make fun of Danny because Danny's were like, "Hello, it is Danny."
Yeah.
So like mine's really similar to Danny's. So yeah, I've changed it to that Charlie L Beck, Ley Charlie, and then YouTube Charlie Beck. I've got two channels under Charlie Beck, which I need to change the name for one of them, but Charlie
Right.
Beck for now.
Yeah.
Um, and TikTok Charlie underscore Beck. And then I
Yeah.
don't really use Twitter. I don't know who uses Twitter, but I don't.
No, I'm not a Twitter fan either. You're on Spotify and iTunes and everything, aren't you? Find
Yeah,
your new
yeah,
single.
same again.
Yeah, your new single will be out by the time this is out, work this out. So definitely everyone go listen to that.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure having you. I've been Sluggy Beats, and we'll see you on the next one.
yeah. Thanks for having
No worries, mate.
me.